10-second review. No.
Oh my God, what the hell did we just watch? I was awake for most of it, and it was crazy.
Same. I was awake for most of it. And beware the internet. If you can't take it, then just stay off the internet. All right. This is our red review for Faces of Death.
Nice.
It's a new kind of remake. It does kind of involve the old one. I haven't seen the old one. I started it and didn't get very far. It was really just the intro, just to see what it was kind of like. But yeah, so this one is about a girl who's pretty much working at a social media place, and
ethics
she has
department.
Huh?
Like an ethics department.
Yeah, she has to watch all the videos that are flagged and screen them essentially, so she sees if they're gonna go through still, and why they're not gonna go through, whether it's like violence, sexual activity, or whatever the reasons are. And she keeps getting these new ones that look like actual deaths, and she keeps getting pushed to just let them go through anyways. So that's essentially the premise. So from our questions,
what life lessons does this story illustrate?
You go first or me go first?
You.
I've been saying this for a while, that especially now, I think the internet keeps feeding us more negative news, and we don't realize how much of an effect it has on us, and it can kind of desensitize us. And once you reach that point, it almost feels like it's too late, and it's almost like a weird addiction, and it makes you feel like you can do more than you actually can. And I kind of think it's I always thought of it as the internet. I want to do a graphic. Maybe I'll do it for this one. I always thought of there should be a ride like at Universal or something, where the ride is called the internet, and you have to be at least some sort of measurement to this sort of maturity level, or some sort of measurement as to when you can get on. And if you don't meet that requirement, then you should probably just stay off of the internet.
So for me, what life lessons does this story illustrate? It's well, I guess from what I learned from it is there are all kinds of mental illnesses that are out there, and when they are attached to the internet, you give access to crazy people. You give them more access than what they should have. When I say crazy people, I say that with all due respect to people with mental illnesses, but like there are some that are it kept resonating in the film. They say that some people kill to keep their mind like steady.
Like not well-intentioned people, I guess.
Yeah. Like, that murder is wrong. What was the best / worst decision made?
Ooh, that's a good one. Best decision, I guess, is when she kept getting told to push the videos anyways. And she did that one time, and then that second time that they popped up, she kind of felt like it was a related pattern. And she finally said no, and she blocked it, which was fine anyways, because the first time, it's not like they got flagged on their own like judgment for letting it go through. Like once the guy said to go through, like she was like, okay. But first time she was kind of genuinely curious. The second time she's like, nah, I'm not going. I'm not doing this.
I kind of felt like it was definitely still going to be out there.
Right.
For people to watch.
Because was that the one that she denied, and then later people were watching it? I don't remember if that was the same one, but there was one that she declined, and then
still,
later
it was
people
still out there.
Yeah, later people still. She saw people were watching it.
Mm-hmm. I guess for me, the best decision made is that she continued to investigate, even though she was told not to. And even though she had gone to the cops and they told her that she was crazy, she continued to pursue trying to track this guy down. But that was also the worst decision that she made. So it was a difficult decision, which was good for like the greater good, but a terrible decision for herself. Okay, so for the throaty therapist, what communication failure caused the biggest problem? The biggest communication failure that caused the biggest problem was that he had a mental health problem.
Okay.
The murderer dude.
The antagonist.
He had a problem. And nobody helped him. Like, he had coworkers. But I guess they could have been fooled by him too, right? Because like Ted Bundy, like he was just this like outstanding person or whatever, but he was actually a really bad guy. He didn't seem to have family. It was interesting the way that they actually the set design of it was fascinating to me. I guess slight spoilers. You end up in. I'm giving you a chance to get off if you need to. But he ends up taking you into his home, and when you see his home, and the carpet is covered in plastic. Do you notice that?
I didn't.
So the carpet is covered in plastic. There are a bunch of boxes everywhere. Like, it's not completely moved into at all. Like, he has certain areas that he utilizes, but then the rest of it is just boxed up and what is it called? He had plastic on the carpet, which I thought was interesting. So communication, he didn't communicate very well. Another communication failure that caused a really big problem was the roommates. So the girl has a roommate, and instead of them talking it out, they get into a big argument. Right? Which ends up leading to her locking herself in her room, and he meets his demise.
I was going to say the roommates was probably the biggest communication problem. And there was something else that had happened. I don't remember now exactly how it happened. And this is one thing I kind of is one of my philosophies is, or people don't protect their reputation enough. And there was something that had happened with her that now kind of has a stain on her reputation, and so it makes you a little bit less credible. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things. If you don't protect your reputation, it's something that's hard to come back from.
Another thing, I guess that could be a thing is that she had really poor communication with her boss also. So she and her boss, I think, were friends from before. But instead of her actually sitting down and telling him, like, hey, dude, this is serious, etc., it was very blown off. It was very nonchalant. It was very superficial. Like, they didn't actually have good communication between themselves. And that was another communication blip.
Yeah, that was another one. Kind of something along with that, if you have any input or tips for it, is that I think a lot of times it's not so much the actual message, but it's how you say the message. And she was always very, almost not confrontational, a little bit confrontational, but it was also very, I don't know, unbalanced, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like her internal struggle in the movie is herself, right? Like, she can't get over the death of her sister because she blames herself for it instead of practicing some kind of acceptance of, yes, this is what happened. Yes, we did go viral, but the cops were the ones who had apparently leaked the video, which wasn't her fault. So it wasn't her fault that she went viral. And instead of her practicing acceptance with it, she lets it get to her. And I mean, easier said than done, right? Not being in that position for me. But at the same time, when you do learn how to cope with with big issues that then you don't carry them for very long, or you carry them gracefully rather than being completely distraught and being pill dependent because of trauma.
So in her position, you had to bring up something to your boss like that. How would you better communicatively approach it?
Well, several different ways, and now she's already brought it to his attention verbally, right? And he blew her off completely. So now you take the next step. You write it down in an email, right? You make it more formal. Hey, I'm providing a formal statement of this. I'd like for us to address this. Then if it doesn't get addressed again, then you do it a step further. You CC one of your big bosses. You know, there's always somebody he's not the one writing the paychecks. And so you have to communicate efficiently and effectively with people in power. And the thing is that she was scared. She was scared to lose her job.
Yeah, that's what it was. She got the job, and she had gotten the job with a tainted reputation, and so that was hard. Now you're kind of stuck in a situation where you have to protect what you can currently get because you haven't recovered from that stain on your reputation.
But what was her stain on the reputation? That video that they were recording on the train tracks?
I don't know if it was that, but I don't know if she had like substance abuse stuff also. I thought he had mentioned something like that too.
But I thought the substance abuse came
after,
secondary to
maybe. I don't remember.
Traumatic.
Either way, if it was second, I get that would be secondary after that, but yeah. You still can't do that for a job.
Right, no, absolutely not. And I guess that's what she was worried about. But then she ends up messing up and doing something stupid and getting fired anyway. So there were a whole bunch of communication blips. It was kind of very like real life.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I found annoying about this movie. I was like, God, it's so real and like terrifying in the way of content creation, because we post this and it is on the internet, and I'm like, oh, gross. Yeah. Like a serial killer could be watching this right now. And it just like, it's very unnerving, it's very unsettling. The actor in the movie, he does phenomenal. He does such a good.
It's I forget his name. It's something with a D. Montgomery.
He's the one from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Billy from Stranger Things. He's so good at being a weirdo in this one.
And I liked her. She was new. I have never seen her before.
Yeah.
She did it was solid. I mean, it's interesting. It was really gross, like a kind of gory. Yeah. I think we're a little bit desensitized to it because we like watching horror films.
Yeah.
And like we watch like The Terrifier, which is like
I have my Terrifier socks.
He does. But it's all like, you know, are you gonna be able to lift your leg up all the way?
No, but the camera's at 360.
And so it was gross, but I loved his quirks. Like, his character was very fascinating. First, I like weird characters, and he was definitely a weird character. Does it need to be watched in the theater? Actually, I think this would be way better. Oh my, that's loud. Way better at home. Watching it at home would be so much more creepy and like dark and like, oh, I don't know. It's so cringy.
We started noticing that with some horror movies, especially like, like a little more home-based. Mm-hmm. That, like undertone for sure. If you watched that at home, that would have been way creepier than watching it at the theater. What relationship drove the story?
Again, okay, so there are several. It's his relationship with Faces of Death, right? So this guy finds Faces of Death fascinating, and he decides that this is going to be his new mantra. So he goes for it, I think. That's one of the biggest ones. And then you have like all of the... Well, another main character one is the relationship / well, her with her job. Is
I would
like...
say just her and herself, like...
Her with all of her things that surround her?
No, like her relationship with herself with
mental health?
her like, there was a thing in Buddhism that talks about like the ego, and I can't remember it now. I'm going to butcher it, but it's essentially like you are not the things you. We're kind of like separate things, and a lot of times people have trouble separating that. Yeah, we have to do things. There's things we can't ignore or avoid, but you still gotta move on and just try to make better choices in the future.
And she was trying to make some better choices.
Yeah, she was.
But that's what got her into trouble. You're right. That's a relationship that drove the story. Overall would be her with trying to find out who this dude is. Where does this situation happen in real life? Ooh! Well, it probably does. Golly. It probably does happen. There are killers out there. There are people that do bad things for fun. And there are several people who support watching it. I guess it's like a car accident to some people. Like you're driving by and you're like, oh man, you know that there's tragic stuff happening right there, and you still have to watch it. You still have to look.
Yeah, and to me was just a lot of the whole internet culture.
Yes.
That she tries to point out, and I think that's part of the thing we've lost, is that all these people are real people. Even the people you like, the people you don't like, they're still very human and probably have their own insecurities and things that bother them and so on. And it has become easier to just like villainize them, and they're stupid and horrible and whatever, and you don't know. You wouldn't even take into account now if they have done great things that aren't on camera or whatever, and it's like that's now voided because whatever's on the internet is the only thing that exists in our minds, and it's harder to let the good stuff that they've done even accepted for what they've done.
I think it's very classic desensitization. Like we've become desensitized to other humans, and then we're sort of weirded out when you're like in person with them, because it's like they're a completely different person when you have the whole person in front of you rather than the person that you assume them to be from their like social media posts or their replies or reactions. The way that they are online is just a piece of how that person really is in real life.
Isn't there something, I could have sworn it was in Japanese culture, where there's like 3 versions of yourself, like the version you are by yourself, the version you are with other people, and I could have sworn there was a third one, but I can't remember.
Is it like the perception that other people have of you?
Maybe something like that. And I've always wondered which version of ourselves is more real. Like, is it the person you put out in public, or is it the person you put out online? Online is very unfiltered, and sometimes not everyone knows who you are, and it's easy to go say the things we say online, but would you say them given the opportunity to say them in person? And I think we wouldn't. A lot of times it's easier to do it on the keyboard than it is to do it in person.
If we had to teach our son one lesson from this, what would it be?
This is the Notes for X moment, or Omniversity. This is a channel for things I feel like you need to learn after you get out of school, and this is the way, our way of passing down the things we've learned up to this point that we didn't learn from school, that life has taught us, that we would like our son to learn. Almost like telling our past self what to do, but I probably wouldn't have listened. But if you want to listen, then great. But if we had to teach our son one lesson from this, what would it be?
My wheels are spinning on this one. There's so much.
Yeah.
A lot of times we say like, oh, don't believe things that you see on the internet. You know, and sometimes they are real. And the guy that was like the bad guy in this movie, he knew that people were going to just like eat it up.
Right, but
because it was just fake enough.
Yeah, I guess I get what you mean.
But that's not the lesson I would want to teach him
And it's weird to say, like you just said, oh yeah, the internet is like, don't believe the internet kind of deal. When there are real things also on the internet. But I guess I get what you mean.
You have to look at things objectively. You have to test them for yourself.
I guess both. Look at it objectively and subjectively. What is the intention behind what's being posted on here? What is the actual outcome of what is being posted? What is it trying to do to you? Like, is it trying to manipulate you in some way? And most of it is very emotion-based. If you get an emotional reaction, it's almost like it won, like it got what it wanted.
I feel like I'm stuck on this one. Because like my brain is going to the previews where so in the preview at this specific theater, they give you, or not previews, but little snippets that come before the previews or trailers.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like, we saw it at Flick's Brew House, and Alamo Draft House has done it too, where if you show up like 30 minutes before the movie, they show a bunch of clips that are semi-related to the content that's going to be in the movie. And so it showed clips from a lot of old movies, and for some reason it showed a lot of phones, but it was like phones back in the 80s and 90s.
And still they were able to manipulate.
Right.
Like they were manipulating the whole conversation. So there's a whole solid conversation that goes throughout all of these phone calls, but they're from separate movies. And so I'm thinking, like, how did that even pertain to this? Or it had to do with phone calls. And what I thought was interesting in this movie is that they don't use smartphones.
Oh, yeah, well...
They used...
She didn't because of her whole situation. I think she just wanted to be...
But neither did the dude.
Offline.
And he worked at a phone store.
Oh, interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
So I'm just wondering, like, I ended up thinking, like, how does this go with this? But, again, that's still not teaching the lesson. And I can't figure out what the lesson is.
Mine, if it comes down to anything, is don't take things at face value so quickly. Let it sit, possibly investigate it, see what's real, see what isn't real about it, see what it's trying to do, see what it's not trying to do.
I love that. I really like that a lot. Having to deduce a lot from the movie because there was a ton of different things. I almost want to hit on the whole beginning of it, of how she ended up in this situation. Is if you are dealing with anything that you feel is too much for you, get help. There's always somebody to listen to you and help. Now there are like several people who support mental health, and I hope that continues in the future. But she would never have ended up in the position that she was if she had gotten help. Same thing with the guy. Like if he would have felt like he was spiraling and, hey, I think I'm gonna kill a person, you know, if he would have gotten help, he wouldn't have done the crazy shit that he did. So get help if you ever feel like something is too much for you. If it's too much to handle, there's always somebody there. Yeah, I guess that's what I would take from it. It was nuts. It was a really unsettling movie. I mean, it's not scary, but it's extremely unsettling. Like, I went to the restroom and I was like, God, is there somebody crazy in here? Like, you know, and then they use like fentanyl, which is a drug, right? That once it's in your system, you look like the one that it's your fault. Like all of a sudden he just gaslit everybody else.
Right. I did catch that too.
And
damn, that was
clever.
Yeah.
Smart and gross. Ugh. So it was very unsettling to me. I'm still kind of weirded out. And I'm probably gonna like delete all social media. Just kidding. As this is what we do.
On a scale of 10, what would you give it?
7? 8? 7.5?
That's about what I was going to say. 7.5.
It was good. It was. I feel like it wasn't as good as the movie that we just saw. The other one that we just did the other review on.
Undertone.
Undertone.
Yeah, no, I think
we did
I
a
like-
review on Undertone. If you guys would like to check that one out, that was a good movie. It's sort of a mind f also.
Well, I think
Excuse
that's
me.
it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bye. Yeah, like we said, there's the preview for the other ride review for Undertone. You guys
Undertone.
can there, and we also did a ride review for the Broadway musical Six. If you want to watch that, if you're into Broadway musicals. All right.
Oh gosh, that was so good.
Bye.